What's going on, everybody? Looks like we've already got a full house here. It's a pleasure to be joining you here on a Wednesday afternoon / early evening. Who we got here already? We've got, oh my goodness, we got Sharks Fan 63. We've got Windy City Hockey. We've got T Money TCG. We've got Hockey Fan. I always get you and Sharks Fan confused. Louie, what's up? And Elias, howdy. And Ryan, what's going on? Hey, everybody. Congrats on getting yeah, man. Thank you. I didn't think that would necessarily be available there on Hockey Authentic. But yeah, got super lucky with that. So I am, that is one I'm very proud to cross off the list. I mean, look at this beaut. It looks even better in person. That's the thing. You know, I thought maybe the color scheme wouldn't quite translate so well today, but I was like, damn, dude, that looks good. It's got to be up there among my favorite jerseys that I've collected. What's up, CJ? Thank you for joining the stream here. We've already got 9 folks here. That's good. That's good for this time of day. Yeah, so let me just make sure that there was... Oh, yeah, big news. We got Iginla and Hossa. Shoot. Guys, I should have... I mean... Now, these 2 jerseys here are fantastic, but I should have my Iginla and my Hossa because I could have put them up here. But yeah, that's fantastic to see them in there. Not to mention Doug Wilson. Dougie Wilson gets into the Hall of Fame. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I'm happy as a Sharks fan especially. So yeah, not to mention, if you talk about good puck-moving defensemen from the 1980s, you would, of course, have Paul Coffey up there. But yeah, Doug Wilson was one of the good ones as well. Raymond Bourque, of course, seriously. But yeah, let me see if there's anything I need to reply to here. Yeah, so congrats to the Hawks fans out there. Yeah, I'm glad to see Hossa as a Hall of Famer too. He was somebody who, even in the later part of his career, was still a very good player. Yeah, I always like to look back at that Senators franchise for a few years there. They had him, Heatley, Spezza, Alfredson, Chara. They had some crazy good players on that team, for sure. And the Hawks should retire his number there too. Yeah, it's so weird to think LeCavalier was on that team, on the Kings. Actually, so was Brad Richards, right? Yeah. So yeah, watch. Okay. Oh, nice. Trevor, watching some good highlights there. 2016. Pretty magical year in that we weren't even in the playoffs the year before. Speaking of which, I have some suspicions. I have my suspicions. You think about the Sharks. They were a pretty good franchise, in the leading up to the Ron Wilson era. They'd won a couple of playoff series, missed the playoffs in 2003 with a very disappointing season. The next year, they went to the conference finals. Flash forward to 2015, they missed the playoffs again, despite many seasons of qualifying, winning rounds and whatnot. So they missed the playoffs. What happens the next season? They go to the Stanley Cup finals. So this year, they've missed the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, stranger things have happened, obviously. So yeah. So yeah, nice to see some Hall of Famers announced today. We need some good news in hockey, don't we? So I definitely have enjoyed seeing some excitement around that for sure. Oh, congratulations, Louie. Way to go, bud. So you're going into middle school, right? Middle school. That's an interesting time. I mean, I grew up pretty sheltered, so middle school for me was still kind of like being a kid for the most part. Yeah, we'd eventually kind of grow up and do our thing, but yeah, it was all right. High school was I liked high school more, but anyway, congrats, man. The best ever NHL team. Maybe I could talk about that from my era growing up. In that case, I would probably say it had to have been maybe the Red Wings from like 97 or 98. Maybe one of those teams I'd say was the best ever. Dan, howdy. Thanks for joining the stream. And same to Riley as well. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have like a commemorative patch or something like that teams that want to honor their Hall of Famers, right? That'd be kind of cool if they had something like that for their jerseys. Paul Cole, yeah, you're welcome, dude. It's like what 11 at night over there, so thanks for joining the stream, dude. I just thought I'd throw this in earlier today because I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing anything tonight. So yeah, and of course, yeah, Iggy definitely belongs there. Excuse me. He's Mr. Calgary Flame for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, hockey fans, stranger things have happened, my friend. And Paul, man, you had your Cleveland Barons jersey. I'm jealous, man. That's sick. That is absolutely sick. And I don't know if he designed specifically the Barons, but the concept of that came from when Terry Smith was designing the original Sharks logo. So he was originally going for something pretty cartoony. Yeah, I didn't see any other designs besides, what the team ended up using. I watched the draft lottery this Friday. It's probably one of those things where I might consider joining somebody else who's streaming at that time, because I don't have a cable plan right now. That's something, or a streaming package or whatever. I might do something like that next month because we're going to supposedly get back baseball at the end of the month. And then MLS, I didn't even know about that, but Major League Soccer is going to have a tournament to start out the season, which I think is actually kind of cool. So I might watch it just to have something North American to watch. But yeah, anyone that was supposed to go to hockey in the regular season got suspended. Yeah, I mean, there might have been a few of us. I had a couple more to go to, but it wasn't exactly like the most. I wasn't exactly excited to go to those games necessarily. So yeah, Cleveland Barons, man. And then what did you upload today? I don't know. And then I saw the Long Beach Ice Dogs one, and that was pretty surprising as well. You might have to be in the market one year for a World Hockey Association. I think they were literally called the Los Angeles Sharks, which is so weird to think. It was red and black. Yeah. Now, while this is all happening, I have to, keep a tab just to make sure nothing's on fire at work. So anyway, there'll probably be something of this soon enough. Yeah. Favorite NHL team? Oh, that's not a weird question. I'm a Sharks fan, Louis. I live very close to San Jose, and I grew up about an hour away. So yeah, the Sharks are, they were the closest sports team to me when I was growing up. And when I was your age, I would go to, like 1 or 2 games a year. I didn't really get into them until I was toward the tail end of high school. But yeah. Your friend was supposed to go to a Vegas versus Detroit game, Vegas versus Vancouver. That would have been kind of good. Vegas versus Arizona. Oh, Owen, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you along. So to answer your question, who am I rooting for in the playoffs? Well, yeah, my team obviously isn't in it. I also like the Sabres as kind of my second favorite team, and you know how things are going this offseason for them. So, I mean, there are a bunch of teams that, like, I'll be happy for them if they win. A couple of teams that I'm not rooting for, but, if I had to, if I had to get behind one team, I would choose probably Minnesota and or Florida. Those are kind of my, A tier, I guess, in that sense. Carolina and Arizona would be up there as well. Maple Leafs because they haven't won a cup. The Jets, sure, I'd welcome that as well. If any of the Canadian teams win, I'll be pretty happy for them, definitely. Oh, you're a diehard Oilers fan. Well, I think you guys have the capability to at least win a round, if not 2. If you've proven anything this year, it's that you actually have, I think, an undervalued defense. I don't think that gets enough credit when we talk about Edmonton. It's a very steady, balanced team overall, even though they are top 6 heavy. So yeah, I could cheer for the Jets. I wouldn't root against them necessarily. I certainly like when you have a small market like that and people really catch on to them. But yeah. Oh, great. If you guys don't mind. trying to type on this phone. But yeah, he could. All right, cool. See your thumbnail for 2 videos that you have to film. Oh, okay. Well, why don't you message me after this? How about that? Or I'll check my Twitter after it. The Leafs to continue their no cup drought. Man, I'm the wrong person to have that conversation with you. But yeah, of course, I'll be hoping that Toronto does well if they make it past Columbus in that series. I don't care. I don't have any stake in that, so I'll gladly see either team win. You went to the Sharks versus Red Wings game this season. Got to sit in the back row of section 121. Yeah, I kind of like when you're up higher in the lower bowl because then you can still see everything, but you're still close enough. That's usually, if I can sit about 20 rows up or so, that way the glass doesn't obstruct my view. What was I going to say? Leafs, I don't know. Yes. I was going to say that. Why am I forgetting this? In terms of who I want to win, I also am secretly cheering, except not so secretly, for Philadelphia because I picked them before the season started to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. I mean, back then, that would have gotten me that would have definitely raised some eyebrows. So, bam, there's that. And the season before the season started, I picked St. Louis. So, I'm hoping to go 2 for 2 on the channel. That would be, I don't think any other channels can really claim that for hockey. So, yeah. Sorry to disappoint, CJ. You're getting an original San Jose Sharks jersey. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Hope you got a good price and that it's in good condition. Yeah, as far as my videos go right now, guys, I'm sorry that I kind of have to put off actually producing videos right now. Not for a long period of time by any means, but it's for a good reason. So it's because I've been focusing my efforts on my ECHL jersey concepts. Now, I know that a good amount of you have already seen them so far, but I do want to show some people out there who haven't been able to keep up with me on Twitter or on Instagram. I've been very persistent on this, I will say. So yeah, if you give me just a second, I can pull that up for you. Let's see. So yeah, I've been working on some different concepts, and what I'm going to be doing is I'll be sending these in to Neil at Post to Post so that he can either react to them or he can. Here's a good one. You'll like this. And thanks, Trevor, for the idea for this. But yeah, he'll react to them or he'll make a video where he ranks them. And then that way I can get some more viewers to this channel and we can climb ever so close to 1,000 and break right through that barrier, open up the super chat, and obviously apply for monetization. So that, my friends, is what I've been up to. So those concepts, I spend probably about 2.5 hours on each concept. So when you multiply that by 26, we're talking about, 50 plus hours of work, and I have some touch-ups to do as well. So that is definitely taking up a lot of my time these days. Erik Karlsson ruined the Sharks more than he's helped the Sharks. Don't forget, he made that pass to Barclay Goodrow in Game 7. But I get what you mean, though. I know others have said this as well. Why do the Sharks need 2 completely offensive defensemen, right? That's why you're seeing all those Brent Burns trade proposals, So I didn't agree with that being the right system for the Sharks to deploy going forward. I think it's still a little too easy to tell if Karlsson's going to be able to help the team. But the fact that we don't have, that our supporting cast seems to be weakening around him, that obviously doesn't look good for the entire team. But yeah. Karlsson to Goodrow alone. Scars! Snudja Hockey has entered the chat. Howdy. Hello. Hey, Snudge, what do you think of my jersey, man? Some hot stuff right there. The Oilers have a chance at making the finals if everyone is performing and your goalies are playing elite. Well, I hope that Yamamoto continues the run he was having. I think that's pretty critical because that adds a little bit of depth right there. But yeah, I think they're capable. I think he's kind of a sleeper in that sense. But yeah, they could make a run. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, YouTube wants to have me consider censoring certain messages on here. In that case, no, I'm not gonna censor that. The reason for the Miami Vice idea is because the Everblades play close to Miami. Yeah, that made perfect sense. And I know that somebody who was featured on Post to Post had put together a concept for the Florida Panthers in Miami Vice. So I said, all right, I'm going to jump on this as well. And so I had so much fun working on that one for sure. Yeah. Your parents were starting to think of seeing a Knights game in San Jose. In your head, you're like, heck no. Yeah. I know that there are definitely some hostilities between, and it's not everybody, right? But yeah, there are definitely some hostilities between the two. Yeah. On this day in NHL history, the Blackhawks beat the Bruins in the Stanley Cup by scoring 2 goals in 17 seconds. I do remember that. Yeah, obviously that they would have been going to Game 7, right? Oilers home Adidas or Oilers home Reebok? You like the Adidas more? I actually like the royal blue. I'm more of a fan of that, but the road jerseys turned out fantastic. You've been to an Everblades game? Nice. That's awesome. Didn't the goals do an 80s neon recently? I wouldn't be entirely surprised. I like their jerseys. Don't get me wrong; those are pretty sick. Yeah. Everblades. Oh, you also like the wheeling? Oh, thank you. Thanks, CJ. Think about this in 20. Well, think about this. Also, the Blackhawks will have 3, maybe 4 other Hall of Famers who are part of that team. That's crazy, right? Because you'll have Kane. I would think Jonathan Taves would at least be considered, considering he was the captain for all 3 of those teams. Crawford, not so sure about him actually, but I would think Keith would be considered as well, considering he won a Conn Smythe and he won 2 Norris trophies. Yeah. Favorite NHL arena? Well, I don't know, Louis. I think I'd have to go to more arenas for sure because I haven't really been to that many. So I really don't know. I've heard obviously, Montreal's kind of like going to a cathedral. Detroit's supposed to be an amazing facility. Vegas is supposed to be a really good facility as well. So I can't really judge, man. And then if you want, crowd atmosphere, Winnipeg, right? So from what I know, these arenas are very good for different reasons, right? Tulsa Oilers concept was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do one that was, I wanted to get on the vintage sort of cream colored train. At least have one concept like that in my series. Yeah, but I'm glad that people are enjoying them. So why is somebody calling me? Oh, it's probably my auto technician. I swear, everyone tries to get hold of me when I block off time to talk to you fine folks. So apologies for interruptions. And literally, I'll have to check on my laptop momentarily, my other laptop, for work purposes. But yeah. Dinner time. Catch you later. All right, CJ. Catch you later. Thanks for joining the stream. Credit 1 to go. with COVID looking like it's having a big second wave, gun to your head, will they be able to only start the playoffs but not finish the playoffs? Dan, I've been. Look, I have bias. I definitely have a strong bias because my team isn't in the playoffs. But I said from the beginning, I just did not think it was realistic for the NHL to do this, honestly. So right now it doesn't look good when you open your training facility and then you have to close it, especially somewhere that's supposedly okay in terms of safety. So yeah, how do I hang my jerseys like that? Oh, good question, Nick. It's not glamorous, man. You can't really see, but yeah, it's just a black hanger and a push pin so that the hanger rests on the push pin. You think they're going to cancel the playoffs? It'd be interesting, if let's speculate here. Let's spit out a hypothetical, right? So, they go to cancel the playoffs. All right. So, do teams who would have qualified this year, do they get some sort of bye? Do they get some sort of advantage heading into next year's playoffs? You want to see your Habs lose. As soon as the Hall of Fame was announced, your phone has been blowing up ever since. Makes sense to me. But yeah, man, it's just so weird to go potentially 4 months, 5 months even, without seeing your team out there, and then think that they would wait until like December or January to start next season. I just don't know, man. That doesn't seem right to me. Think about it. It's like I might not get to watch my favorite team until December. It's bad enough we bowed out in March, but first world problems, right? Do I have any CHL jerseys? I do not. I haven't really tried collecting anything there because I don't really watch CHL. But at some point, I would think I'd get a couple. A couple being like 5 or 6. But yeah, not super intent on collecting those yet. I'd rather, collect some of my favorite jerseys from the AHL and the ECHL first, probably. Yeah. If the season ends up being canceled, they should just scratch everything off. Yeah, same here. Yeah. How did I get into hockey? Well, growing up an hour away from the Shark Tank helps. I had a sports, my dad always had sports on the TV, whether it was baseball or football and whatnot. As I got, and yeah, I'd go to 1 or 2 Sharks games a year. And then as I got into high school, some of my close friends got into it more. And so I said, okay, like if I want to be cool to them, then I should like hockey. And I was like, okay, this is fun. I kind of like, I like the terminology, the trash talking and the sounds of the game are also very pleasant. I like good sounds in my sports, like squeaks of the sneakers in basketball or, the crack of the bat, right? So then I ended up, obviously applying for colleges and I actually, Ryan, I did, or excuse me, Sharks fan. I did recount this on my channel in a podcast a couple of weeks ago. So I'll explain more of that there. But yeah, I went to college really close to the Shark Tank. So I was like, all right, I can watch hockey games. This is great. And then over time, I became more of a Sharks fan. And then, following the league a little bit more as well. So yeah. Anyway, this might be one of these moments in which I need to kind of follow up on here. Hold up. Talking about this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yes, okay, good. Thank you. All right. Doug Wilson should go in as a Hawk. Oh, yeah. I think so. I mean, he was inducted as a player. If he were in the builder category or the executive category, that's a whole different story. So there's nothing disappointing about that at all. I'd love to see. I don't know if this would ever happen, but I'd love to see the Sharks win a cup and Doug Wilson get considered to go in as an executive as well. I mean, I know that some people think he needs to be fired, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that he's fielded a very good team for 15 years for the most part. So anyway, all right, thanks, Sharks fan. Catch you later. Favorite sound in hockey? Make an abrupt stop while skating at high speed. That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know. I just like the sound of the stick tapping the ice, Or yeah, the flipping a puck along the boards. The sound of the crossbar, right? The pings and the dings. Favorite all-time Senators jersey? Oh, it's this one right here? Yeah, I'd say probably that. I also really liked the 2014 Heritage jersey that they wore, which was basically the cream-colored version of that. So was definitely a fan of that as well. The sound the post makes, yeah. Or huge pad save, okay. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Hossa went in as something else, Nick. I mean, his best play, you could argue, still came when he was in Chicago. He might have had the bigger numbers in Ottawa, but yeah, I'd be surprised if they considered him with a different team. Okay, I like the sound of the crossbar. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, what else in the hockey world would make for a good discussion around this time? Do you guys have any interesting kind of off-season stories for your teams? Possible trade rumors? Certain prospects I should look out for? I really don't follow the draft that much, so any knowledge you guys can share with me is probably a good source of truth. Next jersey purchase. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that anytime immediately soon. I mean, I say that now, and I'm probably going to, get my check next week, my paycheck, and throw down for something. I would Paul, I would like to collect at least 2 jerseys for every team. Vegas kind of being the exception for the time being because they haven't produced an alternate. But yeah, there are still a few teams out there that I don't have a second jersey of. Pittsburgh's one of them. I have the 2008 Winter Classic, and Carolina is another one. So I have 2 jerseys in mind for that. They're coming from the same retailer or e-tailer. So I might get in on that. I should have done it sooner though, because the Penguins one, they used to have that in my size, but they don't anymore. So I got to buy a size bigger. I could think of other things to complain about, but that's the specific Pens jersey that I want to get. UK hockey is pretty quiet right now. Nico Dawes, goaltender for the Guelph Storm, will be a steal. Nico Dawes. Okay. I will be not too many Nikos in the NHL, so he's a name that I can probably remember here. You say Saros should be traded. Well, that's interesting. Is that do you know if they have any prospects? Any good prospects in the system here? Sorry. Nick, you'll have to let. Yeah, I think I saw. Did you share a vacation photo? That's right, you did. You'll have to let us know how that went. I think Saros maybe isn't quite as magnificent as we were, as we saw earlier on when he was in the NHL. But yeah, I'll be looking for this Nico Dawes. Yeah. What else is going on, guys? Anybody up to anything interesting? Any chance you can sneak away for a few days? I was down at my parents' house for a few days this past weekend. And yeah, Riley, I was just about to say, Cortana got to run around in a backyard there. She's very affectionate with me, but for my dad, she just goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's hilarious. But yeah, she's doing well. She's just resting down below here because because I exercised her really well today. She we played some frisbee in the park. Let's see if I can tilt down and show you her. Wait, let's see here. Let's go. There she is. There's Cortana. Oh, there she is. Yeah. That's a happy pupper right there. Yeah. What team do you think the Sharks will get their first cup against? Ooh, interesting. Carolina? Carolina. Why not? Carolina, or no, maybe their goaltending won't be good enough by that time. I don't know who this other guy is that they could potentially call in if they moved somebody in the offseason. Maybe the Islanders. You got to think Barry Trotz is going to get them to the Stanley Cup at some point. Beat the Maple Leafs. If that happens, one of my friends is probably going to cut ties with me. You went to Disney Springs. I don't know what Disney Springs is. I don't know if that's part of Disney World. Relaxed in Florida. Yeah. Well, that's good, though. Good to just probably get away, get a change of scenery for a bit. Mads Søgaard. Interesting. Be a good Sens starter because he was so good. That's funny because that's what his last name almost looks like. For the Medicine Hat Tigers. It's one of the weirdest town names I've ever heard of. Medicine Hat. You know what another weird one is? Moose Factory. That's where Jonathan Chichu's from. Well, hello, Adrian. Thank you for joining. Bold prediction. Martin Jones and Erik Karlsson will bounce back next season. Well, I mean, if Nabokov continues to, or Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw's a cool name. I like that. Well, I could see maybe Jones in that if they keep Nabokov around. I'm not like ecstatic to have Bob Bugner as a head coach, but I think that he should get a shot with the team. I don't think their record reflects really his performance as the coach. I don't think so. They were dealt a couple of bad hands, and just players were having crappy years anyway. So 2016 Game 6. That was bad. But you know what? I said it at that time. I said, hey, we weren't even supposed to be here. No playoffs the year before. We went up against the Kings in round 1. We were supposed to get smoked. We made it to the Cup Finals, And at the time, it was funny because we had made it further than the Blues or the Capitals did in their franchise history. The Capitals win in 2018. The Blues win in 2019. And then it's just a train wreck. Yeah. Disney Springs is part of Disney World. Okay. It's an outdoor mall with good restaurants. Oh, okay. Actually, I think I went there 2 years ago. It was funny because I was looking for dinner spots. So I get a I see this seafood place, and I'm like, all right, this looks like a great place. So I get in an Uber to take me there, and I'm staying at this hotel, like way the far, like 15 minutes away from the destination. And then we roll through, and it's like Disney World. I'm like, wait, how am I in Disney World right now? This is weird. Drew, what's happening? San Jose was Tavares' second choice. If they got him, they wouldn't have paid Carlson all that money. That's a little painful to think of. That's crazy, man. I mean, and the Sharks offered him more. They offered Tavares $13 million. So, I mean, he really wanted to play for Toronto. A weird town name is Bacon Ridge, Manitoba. No freaking way. You know, we have a good amount of followers in Manitoba on this channel. So, I appreciate you sharing that. Bacon Ridge. That's amazing. Let's see. Is there a weird one where I am? We have a town name called Los Gatos, which literally means the cats. That's kind of interesting. That's where Netflix is headquartered. So we have Los Gatos. Let's see what else. Nah, I don't know. We actually have a town called Blackhawk out here. Let's see, what else can I share? Yeah, I mean, most of my time has been with the I've been spending on the ECHL concepts, so that's why you won't really be seeing much in the way of video content other than live streams. You know what I'm thinking of doing next week, though? If I start planning a little bit, I might try to do a Guess the Jersey where I direct you guys to certain photos or whatever of my collection, and you guys try to guess them. Maybe we can do something like that. And then we can also reverse it to where you guys, in a separate stream, you guys, send me pictures and photos through social media, and then I can make a guess or something like that. Okay. You grew up not far from a town called Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I think there's also a town, I forget what state it's in. I don't think it's Pennsylvania. I think it's like Maryland or something. It's called Myanus. That's a weird one, though. John Pajama Boy Tavares. Yep. Hey, a crisp BLT. Of course, being from California, the best way to do it is a BLAT, where you put avocado in it. Super good. Yeah, I haven't had a good BLT in quite some time. You know, the new president for the Arizona Coyotes, he's actually from San Jose. His family immigrated here from Guadalajara in Mexico, and his family, like, just a fantastic educational upbringing. Guy went to Bellarmine, which is pretty close to the Shark Tank there. Actually, through my university, I ended up doing some like volunteer work there essentially. And I actually had a couple of friends who went through there too. And then, yeah, this guy just went, he and his family had a traditional or a terrific educational background there. And then he ends up going over to the Coyotes. So now you have, like, at the top, you have, some, people from Latin American backgrounds. So hopefully that can actually help in terms of, generating more awareness from the, greater Phoenix community there. So anyway, it was a cool story that I read about that. And he's from San Jose. So kind of cements my interest in the growth and development of the Coyotes franchise. But yeah. Do I watch all 82 Sharks games? I try to watch all of them. Yeah. And it was interesting this year because, well, it's one of those things. I know. Where if we're losing by like 3 or 4 goals, I would turn them off. I think this year I saw more of that, so I kind of dulled myself a little bit to where I would keep watching them anyway. And I go to a pretty good amount of games as well. yeah, we'll see what happens with this next season, obviously. But yeah, I try to watch all of them. You're watching the Sharks versus Kings game 1. That was a fantastic series from Martin Jones, that's for sure. Have I been to a Cup Finals game? You went to game 6. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I went to game 4, actually. So I paid $600 a ticket because I bought 2 tickets. So that's $1,200, like $1,250. I chose the wrong game, brother. Wish I would have went to game 3 instead, but so be it. Vancouver sent a letter to the Prime Minister to be a hub city. Okay. So that's why they haven't been eliminated yet from contention there. That's cool. I mean, obviously we know that Vancouver can host a lot of sports teams all at once. They can host a lot of athletes. I'd like to see, ideally I'd like to see Canada host, if somehow those cities got a good percentage of the revenue from, broadcasting and whatnot, that'd be nice. Not that I don't want American cities to get money either. I'm just thinking kind of, in terms of the value of the Canadian dollar versus American. But yeah. Yeah, excited when Couture scored. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that game was definitely a downer, man. You want to go to a Knights playoff game? I imagine that those are pretty electric, dude. I imagine so. I mean, I've watched plenty of them on TV. Chicago is a front runner. Oh, yeah. Chicago's a fun city for the summer, that's for sure. Not to mention, it's a fantastic hub for the NHL. I mean, because if you look at like the concentration of teams, like Chicago is kind of the epicenter of the NHL in a sense. So I think it would make sense if they could, make that a hub city for sure. But yeah. Reaction when Goodrow scored versus Vegas. Adrian, watch my my fan reaction video because I was at that game. That's what I'll refer you to. So yeah, just look up, Sharks Golden Knights Game 7 reaction, and I'll probably be one of the first videos that you see on there. I would think so. Yeah. Chicago does bring the NHL a lot of money, that's for sure. Now, when I was recording that vlog, I mean, it was hard to record good segments because you have to get your phone out quick enough. There's that factor. Then the thing is that you already start reacting when the moment happens. And then to pull out your phone, you have to almost kind of embellish a little bit too. So that's kind of the challenge with that. Unless you're actually watching the moment and you're recorded, I wish I would have recorded when the Minneapolis Miracle happened. I was at that as well. Not sure if you root for them being in Manitoba, Ryan, but yeah, I went to that as well. And if I had a video of me in that stadium reacting, I mean, that right there, greatest, I mean, those two moments right there, greatest sports moments I've ever seen. What's going on? 12:45 a.m. Whereabouts? Somewhere in Europe, obviously, huh? There should be another Canadian team. Don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. Like, you'd have to have some real dark days for the Maple Leafs, if you wanted to put another team in the Toronto Metro. Oh, it's 12:45 when you finish watching the game. I see. Man, that's late. I don't think I've ever watched a game that late. Obviously, being on the West Coast helps. The longest game I've watched for any sport was probably the four overtime game against Dallas. I think that went until about midnight Pacific time, and it was in Dallas. So yeah, 2008 conference semis, game 6 there. So yeah, there's that. And in baseball, 2014 National League Division Series, the Giants went 18 innings against the Nationals and fortunately won that game. Trivia question: before the San Jose Sharks used teal, what other team used it first? Well, I know the answer to that. I'll just see if somebody wants to comment in the chat. Most painful NHL game I've ever been to. I'd probably say that Cup Finals game, that's probably the most painful I've been to. It was just really disappointing. It was kind of a boring game, frankly. Hello, Nick. From one to another. Hello, hello. Put them in Halifax. Call them the Highlanders. And bring some random security named Doug Glatt. If Nova Scotia had a team, that would be terrific. Hockey clearly works over there. The longest game you ever watched was Game 2 of the 2015 Western Conference Finals versus the Ducks. Oh, how long was that one anyway? How long have I been live for? Since the top of the hour, so that's 3 p.m. for me. And yes, Drew is alluding to the California Golden Seals, who briefly wore teal, although it was kind of a different shade. In, I think, the mid-'70s, that's when they were wearing that. Yeah. So yeah, we're about halfway through the stream. I allocated 90 minutes, kind of like I typically do. Excuse me. So, assuming that, if as long as the chat's active, we'll keep going until about 4:30. So that will be 7:30 for East Coast, 6:30 for Central Time Zone. Yeah. Now, in terms of, have I been to any hockey games that have gone into double overtime in the playoffs? I think I don't know. I might have only been to games that have gone into single overtime. Okie doke, hockey fan. Thanks for joining the stream. We'll talk to you next week. 3 overtimes. Oh, damn. That is a late game. That's a very late game. And, as I've been doing, we'll continue to run these streams on Wednesdays. I think next week should work okay too. Sorry, Paul, but I might move next week to my evening so that we start, 6 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock Pacific. It'll kind of depend on my bandwidth and availability there. But yeah. Yeah. What's pretty cool is that I didn't even really know that it had expanded this much, but Major League Soccer, it's got 26 teams. So that's a lot, man. And within the next 2 years, we'll have 4 more MLS teams. So St. Louis will have a team. Austin's going to have its first professional team, I think, next season. And then Charlotte, North Carolina will have one, which is good because I don't think there's any team between DC and Atlanta. And then Sacramento is going to have a team as well, which is really, really great because then that forms a nice natural rivalry with San Jose. And, Sacramento's actually, it's grown to be pretty big. So yeah. So I was happy to kind of see that. Max Kellerman's remark about hockey. Well, I mean, it's just a product of ESPN, isn't it? ESPN doesn't give a shit about hockey. The writers that they have good writers. Emily Kaplan, John Buchgras is a fan of hockey, but they just haven't given it a shot. It'll be interesting to see if ESPN is, in the conversation for the NHL TV deal. By the way, guys, there's a train going by, so apologies for the noise. Or I'll just mute myself. Yeah, so I mean, damn, it ended at 3 a.m. That's insane. I can't remember the last time I stayed up until 3 a.m. Yeah. So yeah, Max Kellerman, he just basically said what? Like, nobody cares about hockey? Well, yeah, you looked at that. There was like a Twitter question that NBC Sports or somebody threw out, and it was like, "Oh yeah, what sport do you miss the most?" And it was, like for football, comment for baseball, retweet for basketball, or something like that. It was something to that extent. And then like the top replies are just a bunch of people saying hockey or just trolling the post, and I was just like, those are my peeps right there. Those are my peeps. The sports world should know better. Nothing beats the Stanley Cup. Nothing beats the Stanley Cup playoffs. The NBA, if uh, it's 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 going to be a 1 or a 2 seed versus a 1 or a 2 seed in the finals, and when they get to that point, they'll have won 1 or 2 series through a sweep. So it's fairly predictable. Baseball, it would be the dog days of summer, right? So it's like, come on, 162 games, get real, right? And I'm somebody who likes baseball, but this time of year, I don't give it really, unless my Giants are doing well, I don't really care about sports that much. I tune it out. And then football, we haven't gotten to that point yet. First NHL team to utilize a third jersey and which year? Oh man, boy, I'm not going to be able to answer that. That's a good question. Because, teams have sort of changed their jerseys mid-season. Like they used to do that back in the day. But that kind of thing doesn't really happen. I think this question would have to rule out commemorative jerseys like the 75th anniversary, which was 1991-92. So when I think of third jerseys, I think of like starting in 94 or 95. But I know that they had third jerseys before that, I want to say. Anyway, I'm curious to know, but I want to see some guesses there. NBA playoffs start in the third round. That's exactly. Yeah, see, when I was growing up, NBA had some upsets, right? I think of when my Sonics were upset by the Denver Nuggets in, I think, 94. The Sonics were a 1 seed. I think of the Warriors when they upset the Mavericks in 2007. Yeah, 2007. Or when the Knicks upset the Heat. I think that the Heat were a 1 seed that year. But that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Bruins in 1950. My goodness. Hey, what's up, Chris? I hope you're enjoying your PK Subban jersey, my friend. Wait. So wait. What? They're not doing the 60-game season? Damn. I'd be more excited for that, because then that means that every game matters a whole lot more. Plus pitchers, that means that pitchers can go into the postseason and throw 8 innings a game. God, that's so weird though. I just thought about it. I forgot. Madison Bumgarner is on the Diamondbacks. He's not a Giant anymore. What's funny is years ago when Bum started out at first, I would get people would say I looked like him if I put a hat on. My hair was shorter back then, but yeah. Okay. 60-game schedule. That's what I like. That's what I like right there. Yeah, that'll be more exciting, right? If they do that and have the regular playoffs, I won't object to that. That sounds fine to me. Let's go Giants, baby. Although the Giants will probably win like 20 games. Does anyone like the Hurricanes? I mean, they're not my favorite team, but I really like how they're run. Absolutely. Don Waddell has done a fantastic job so far. They've done a really nice job managing their cap. Their young talent, their prospect pool, that's great. If you criticize one thing, it might be goaltending, but they've made it work. And they have a good mix of defensemen too. That's why I really like them. Slavin, who 2 years ago I said was like an elite defender, and now people actually realize that. Brett Pesce, I'm a fan of his as well. Yeah. You have a friend who doesn't like the Hurricanes. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because of the storm celebrate or storm clap or the storm surge. It's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, I think that there's a fine way to, salute the fans and whatnot. I wouldn't want them to keep doing the same, their same kooky antics every time. I mean, I like it, but, it's one of those things where, I mean, others are going to eventually take issue with that and reflect that on the ice, maybe. But it would probably take a couple more years until we saw something like that. Do I have Netflix? I have access to Netflix. That's how I'm going to answer that question. See, the Hurricanes will be wearing a third jersey in the playoffs. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people really like those. I think they're okay. They're definitely not my favorite. I actually really like their regular home jersey. I wish they would wear that. But hey, if people like the thirds, let's see it. Of course, what I'd really like to see is, if the team was able, or if the NHL was somehow able to reissue like classic jerseys like this one. Let's say the Ducks and the Avalanche played each other in the playoffs. These guys wore those. The Avs wore the Nordiques. That'd be sick. Most of your friends hate the Sharks just like you do. Then that's one reason why they're your friends. The Hurricanes went from the longest NHL playoff drought to Eastern Conference Finals in a year. Yeah. That's crazy. Without making the playoffs for a number of years. I mean, they were just bad, dude. The Yotes are going to wear the Kachinas for the playoffs as well. Yep. Yeah, I heard that too. Paging Phil Kessel, right, guys? The people are a petition to change the Columbus, Ohio name to Flavortown. What? You're gonna have to elaborate on that, Nick. That's interesting, to say the least. Oh, you recommend Space Force? Okay, I think you or somebody mentioned that last time too. Yeah, I haven't been watching too much on Netflix recently. I watched Ozark, which great. Have I been binging anything else? Really? Not so much. I don't know. I tried watching Trailer Park Boys. I know a lot of people like that. I only watched like 5 episodes. I just couldn't really get into it though. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where you have to watch the first season or two and then it starts to really catch on. Let me know if I should keep it up. But I love Letterkenny. I know that that's Hulu, but I mean, the Letterkenny before Hulu was, influencing their production. That was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in my life. 1 win for the Yotes is equal to 1 hot dog for Phil Kessel. So that means on the parade float, he would have to devour 16 hot dogs. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a great show. I don't love it, but I don't hate it though. But when it comes to the Michael Schur productions, for me, it's like Parks and Rec, and then it's everything else, really. Parks and Rec is, I think, head and shoulders the best Michael Schur production. But I haven't really given those other shows a good enough try. I did watch The Good Place. I liked, like the first 2 seasons, I definitely liked, but then the narrative just it was twisting a lot, but it kept reverting to, it was almost like it was going in circles in a sense. So I kind of tuned out of that. I should watch more Trailer Park Boys? Okay, guys. I'll have to give it a shot then. Yeah, comedies. I'm trying to think. I watched Better Off Ted recently, which was made like 10 years ago, so kind of ages a little bit. Favorite comedy of all time. One of them is certainly Scrubs. Loved Scrubs. Absolutely. Yeah, Nick, definitely link me to that. Longest game that you went to, Mariners versus Red Sox in 2017 that went 13 innings. Started at 7 p.m. 5-hour game. Yeah. So wait, where did you go to Boston, or did you go to Safeco, or whatever they call it now? I don't even know if it's called Safeco. The Office is the best show of all time. I know a lot of people think that. I just couldn't get into it for whatever reason. I don't know. I just don't get it, I guess. Spooks. All right. Well, Paul, my favorite. I love me some British comedy. Never seen that. Have you ever seen Peep Show? That to me, that's up there among my favorites, just all time. I think that show is hilarious. The In-Betweeners, when that was around, was really funny too. I wish that could have kept going. Uh, and of course, I mean, you know, anything that John Cleese was in. You got Little Britain. I didn't really watch Little Britain. I haven't given that a shot though. The Mighty Boosh. Let's just say I have to take on an altered state of mind to really appreciate the Mighty Boosh. Never heard someone not being able to get into the office. You're at a loss for words. I know, man. That's the thing. I thought I would catch on to it. It's not to say that there aren't parts that aren't funny, but I watched Parks and Rec, and I couldn't go from Parks and Rec to The Office. I think you could probably go from The Office to Parks and Rec, but yeah, it's hard for me to set expectations like I did for Parks and Rec for The Office, and yeah, it's just me though. Ohio State University practice jersey. Oh, are you talking about a Shorzy quote? Yeah. I can't say, yeah, you can't say anything. You can't quote Shorzy without YouTube wanting to flag that. Yeah. It sucks, man. Letterkenny was going to go on tour this year, and obviously they had to cancel. I had tickets. To see the cast here in San Francisco. Damn. I just wanted to like shake Wayne's hand, or Jared Kiso. Just be like, 10-4, good buddy. Yeah. Such a funny production, though. Riley, for whatever reason, YouTube wanted me to censor that, but I'm not sure what you're getting at, buddy, but go find some lotion or something, dude. The Kenny Powers show? I don't think so. I also like watching some stupid cartoons too. Well, not stupid, but I love adult humor in the form of cartoons. Which is funny because I haven't really watched that much Rick and Morty. I should try taking a look at it again. Oh, they're trying to. Oh, I get it. I get it now, Nick. Okay. They want to call it flavor tap. That's pretty funny. Do I know the song Kokomo? Of course. Beach Boys, dude. Beach Boys are awesome. Do I have a hockey card collection? Good question. I don't have an extensive one. I don't really collect very actively. I'd like to, but yeah, I just haven't gotten into it too much. I've bought a few cards online for like $5 a pop, where I got like a piece of Evgeny Malkin's jersey. Same with like Logan Couture. Had a couple of autographs from like Alex Killorn and Ryan Ellis. But yeah, not too crazy. Well, what kind of impressions do you want? I don't know, man. I mean, I can try. I get a little nervous, I might turn a little red, but you might be able to coax that out of me at some point. Well, yeah, but who do you want, right? translate the Canadian slang. Yeah, especially when they do crack an egg. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, right. That here, CJ. I'll show that comment. Yeah, give her balls, dog. So yeah, 10 out of 10 recommendation for Space Force. Maybe I'll check this out. So yeah, we're what, hour and 5 minutes through this? Right on. So we can keep going for a little while longer. Although want to keep the chat lively to do that. So that's one more for Space Force, huh? Okay. Can you guys think of any good cameos in shows or movies by hockey players? Like Wayne Gretzky, right? He shows up in the Mighty Ducks. Are there any good cameos out there? Yeah, British comedy is a little bit different. I don't know. I like it. Nathan McKinnon was on Trailer Park Boys. Okay, I guess that would make sense because he's from. It takes place in Nova Scotia, right? Iceberg in Sudden Death. Good call. Duncan Keith and Brett Seabrook also had a cameo on that show. Paul Correa was in D3. I'm trying to think if there are any like non-hockey movies, or if there's a movie that's not about hockey whatsoever, but they got somebody to appear in it. Didn't the Love Guru probably have somebody in it? Cam Neely was in Dumb and Dumber. Man, I haven't watched that movie since I was like 11 years old. Tyler Sagan was in Goon 2. Why don't I remember that? I've seen Goon 2. It's been a little while, but okay. Well, I remember like Aaron Rodgers said that he actually was an extra in Game of Thrones. I don't know if there's anything like that for NHL players, current or former. Oh yeah, George LaRock, right? In Goon 1. That's a good one. Oh, they played themselves on Chicago Fire. Ah, I see. Okay. The LA Kings were in Entourage. Neil Clark from the Sheffield Steelers is in Goon 2. Oh, cool. You got all sorts of those jerseys, don't you? Yeah, Cam Neely, Dumb and Dumber. Nice. Yeah, I guess there were some good cameos in Jim Carrey movies. Like Cannibal Corpse was in Ace Ventura. Gretzky was in The Simpsons. Okay. Okay, the list of 20 jerseys. Which jerseys do you want or need? Oh, you're talking about the 20 jerseys I wanted to collect this year. Well, I think the ones that I'll highlight, I want to get a Team USA, a 1980 Olympics jersey. I'll probably get that from sportsk.com because you can choose. You have a good variety of choices there. So there's that. I want to get a Letterkenny jersey. And you can get that from their store. So a Letterkenny Shamrocks. Let's see, what else? I mentioned San Francisco Bulls from the ECHL. I think I found a website that carries those. Joey gets hit by a puck at a Rangers game. Yeah, so those are kind of some jerseys that I want to get. I'm not like dying to get them right now, but if I had to choose like an NHL jersey, I really want to get a Canucks black, with the skate. I definitely want to get that in Adidas. So there's that. Also, really want to get the Devils alternate, the white alternate. Just haven't found like the best deal on it. Cool Hockey right now, as much as I love them, they haven't been able to get much in the way of shipments. So that's why I haven't ordered those yet. Do I have a flying V? No, I know some people like to collect the ugly ones out there, but I'm not really on that hype train so much. I don't know. I don't see myself doing that. There are a couple ugly ones that I want to collect. The Fisherman and the Coyotes peyote jersey, with the Desert Scape on the bottom of it. It is 111. Oh my goodness. What's up, Eustace? What are you doing, man? Get some sleep, buddy. Ice Jerseys has the Olympic jersey. But is that the 1981? I don't think I've seen that on there. Tom Brady and Tattoo. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Or Brett Favre in There's Something About Mary. Ooh, you want to get a Slovakia Marian Hossa. Very nice. Here. A Germany Dreisaitl. Yeah, I want to get one day at some point. I want to find one of those Germany hockey jerseys with the eagle on it. Those are sick, dude. Yeah, but I probably have to get a little bit leaner on my jersey purchases in the near future. A little leaner. I'll still do unboxings and whatnot because that obviously brings a lot of views to the channel. Yeah. Oh, it is a 1981. No way. Yeah, CJ, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. Michael, wait, let me try this one. Turverchek? Welcome, Michael. You've been here since 100? Huh. I'm not sure if you tune into the live streams or something. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure I've come across your name, or if I have, it's been a while. You've been here since 100, though, so thank you so much. It's great to have folks who've been watching the channel for a long time because you are the roots of the growing tree, if you will. Nailed the name. Excellent. You're too young to get a job later in the year when you can. You're going to get the Ducks jersey that I just got. Oh, nice. Excellent. This is a fine purchase, my friend. Not cheap, though. I got 10% off through Hockey Authentic because I left a review on a previous purchase. But yeah. That one, I was like, okay, I'm buying this one, but I'm not buying anything else right now. Marian Hossa is the first Slovak player in the Hall of Fame. He'll be joined pretty soon by Zdeno Chara, I would imagine. You're going to get a Hurricanes jersey next. Very nice. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was an airplane, right? That's correct, Nick. HockeyAuthentic.com. So yeah, buy something, leave a review, get 10% off. They usually don't have sales on their site, except for Black Fridays, Cyber Week. That was 30% off right there. So they have you can buy some custom jerseys on there for like $140 American. That's like at the lowest price point. So if you take 30% off of that, then I mean, you're just making out like a bandit. Plus their customization is great. I love it. Get what? I'm not sure what that means. When did I get the cave jersey? I got this a couple of weeks ago. So, Michael, we had a live stream here, and we did this kind of elaborate method of choosing which jersey I should collect next. So we had 4 finalists, and this was all kind of determined by myself and the viewers out there. And so we landed on getting a Colby Cave in Adidas, and so I ordered this from Cool Hockey, and it is. I know that my webcam quality isn't very good, but it is beautiful. I love it, and to the folks out there, that was a fantastic choice for sure. You bought a McDavid Canada jersey. Oh, nice. Yeah, I sincerely recommend doing it. Leaving the review is pretty easy. Just takes a couple of minutes, if that, and then you get 10% off. So who doesn't love to save? Anyway, we're at what now? Okay, about 4:15. So we'll do a little bit. We'll go a little bit longer. And then I'll get back to my other stuff, if you don't mind. Sorry, I just had to close out some notifications there. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Steven. Steven. I think it's Steven, not Stefan. Thank you so much. That means a hell of a lot to me. I'm hoping to keep running these live streams on Wednesdays. Pavel Demitra wasn't inducted? I know, that was so sad. How do you get your puppy to stop chewing your pillows? Why don't you spray something on there? Because you can get some of those sprays that dogs find unpleasant. So you can try that. That's one method. Of course, the best way to raise dogs is to distract them in a positive manner by giving them stuff to chew on. Okay, good. That's good, Steven. You're turning into the Aflac duck. Well, then you and your duck can converse together. All right, Paul. Cheers, buddy. I'll see you again real soon, I'm sure. And I'll be on the lookout for more of your jerseys. Cortana should have her own channel. You know, you're probably right. I could probably get a lot more followers with that, just because people want to see pets. She should have her own Instagram or something like that. Thank you. She is such a sweet girl. You know, she's really smart too, man. Dogs are so smart. They don't just learn commands. They learn to recognize certain words that you say and how you say them. They can connect like small phrases together. It's pretty damn cool, isn't it? And yeah, Cortana she's a smart girl. Absolutely. Somebody told me today they knew of somebody who had a Labrador that was 20 years old. 20. Usually if you get past about 14, you're doing something real special. But yeah. Favorite jersey of all time? Yeah, I made a video about that, Eustace, last year. So what I did was, I don't know if you're familiar with March Madness here in the States, but it's a basketball tournament, and you start with 64 teams, and you have 4 regions, right? So the 4 regions in the bracket, and then basically through process of elimination, you work your way down to your final 4, and then you have your champions. So if you check out my favorite jerseys of all time, there's a really fun video. There's a fun video in which I select my favorite jersey. So that was such a fun video to create. You had a corgi that was 16 and a half. Wow. That's fantastic. And I mean, purebreds have their issues too, have their health issues. Would Doug Wilson's number be retired? Yeah, I mean, how would you not retire a number if that player made the Hall of Fame? But then again, you could argue for the reverse instead. Maybe those retired numbers are reserved for, the absolute legends. When somebody can actually say a name and people of different generations know who you're talking about. Do I lean more to dark jerseys than white jerseys? Generally, yeah. But I do have, it's funny because the most common color that I collect in my collections are white jerseys. Because I buy, I have a few black jerseys, I have a few green jerseys, a few red jerseys, and then I have a lot of white ones too. So yeah, I do like white jerseys quite a bit. But I will usually prefer the dark ones. There are probably only a few teams whose white jersey I like more than the dark jersey. Right now, Edmonton, I like their white one more than their home. Trying to think of somebody else. Nothing immediately comes to mind. Whose white jersey do I like more than their black jersey or dark jersey? Yeah, I can't really think of anybody else who I'd put into that category necessarily. Not immediately, but yeah. I'm a dog trainer now. Dude, if I could pick whatever I wanted to do for a living to make money, it'd be like, yeah, I'd do something where I help out dogs and, make videos on YouTube. But yeah. Yeah, my video is a little similar to that, Eustace, but I think I did that in one video, so it's much more compact. I loved that logo series he did, by the way. That was so much fun. They trick you into getting your food. Oh, yeah. Even Cortana's not an exception to that either. But she does that to other people. She doesn't do that to me because she knows I don't want her to take my stuff. It's so funny because look right now here. I'll show you her right now. Let's see, she's just looking at me grinning. Look at that. Look at that happy face. Look at that happy face right there. Who's a good girl? Yeah. She's among the happiest puppers on the planet. You like the Ducks away. I think the Ducks jerseys are better than what we credit them to be. Yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of the logo, but the actual design of the jersey is intriguing. So I actually kind of like their jerseys overall. Which Canadian team will be the next to play in the Winter Classic? Vancouver, Seattle. They'll have to do a Winter Classic between those two teams. Absolutely. Like 2022 or 20. No, maybe not the first year. Maybe 2023. That could be the Winter Classic matchup. What would Cortana do if she saw Howler? Oh, man. Always raising some interesting points about Howler. So Cortana is, I don't know her full makeup because I've had her DNA tested, but they can only figure out definitively 5/8. So I usually tell people that she's a coonhound shepherd mix. So she has like an 1/8 German shepherd, a quarter McNabb shepherd, which is kind of a hybrid breed where I live. And then a quarter coonhound, and then the rest is, could be shepherd, hound. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a happy girl. It's also because it's warm out, so she's kind of panting a little bit more than she usually would. As the Ducks are in a retool, should they go back to the Mighty Ducks branding? Well, they should wait until they're good. Like, once they're actually legit, then they should go into the Mighty Ducks, because that will sell like hotcakes, son. You got a golden doodle. Oh, you got a victory puppy. Oh, they must be so fun, though. I mean, if you got a yard for them, then yeah, that's probably one of the more fun breeds to raise. Funny how the Mighty Ducks movie kids were embarrassed to be named the Ducks. Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting looking at it that way. Cortana's favorite food. Oh boy. I try to think of what she goes the most nuts over. I mean, I guess it's the more the food is a pure reflection of real food that she would get in the wild, the more excited she is. But she loves peanut butter. And I give her the real stuff, of course. I try to feed her, like kind of venison-based products that she seems to like. Let's see, what else does she like? Oh, hey! Did you want to say hi? Did you want to say hi to the viewers? Hey, you want to come up? Here, come on up. Come on, let's go. Come on. No, she doesn't want to. Come on. Hi, Ted. Routine. Come on. Okay, here. Let's go. Give her a. There we go. There's a sweet face. You have a kiss? Oh, thanks, girl. Thank you. What a sweet pea. Oh, you're happy. Oh, so happy. If Wild Wing hugged me, I'd hug him back, even though I'm a Sharks fan. If Chance hugged me, then I'd hug Chance back. Or a high five. Why not? Yes. Inu totemo kawaii desu. Oh, it's not a tick, is it? Oh, it's just some dirt. Okay. Oh, hi, happy girl. Your dog loves eggs. Interesting. Okay. I've fed Cortana eggs a couple times too. Usually I'll give her like pureed pumpkin. In terms of like actually giving her like cooked meat when I cook, it's kind of something where if I'm around others, I might give her a piece. She gets really excited for that though. Ice Jerseys doesn't have the Miracle jersey. It was Sports K. No problem. No problem, CJ. I know the deal on Sports K is going to be really good too. I think it's like $115 with a player on it. So that's pretty good. Your Labrador likes peanut butter and chicken. Yeah. That's great that you can give peanut butter to dogs. I think that's something that makes life worth living right there. Yeah. I had a feeling, Riley. Yeah, Ice Jerseys, I know they've had some good sales as well. Just not anything that I'm like keen on buying right away. I guess what I'm looking for in Adidas right now are a couple of alternates, and that's about it. Obviously that'll change if the league issues more alternates and whatnot, especially Minnesota Wild Winter Classic jersey. Come on, baby. God damn, I would love to see them go to like a classic sort of North Stars design or color scheme. I'd be all over that, man. Nailed it, 115. Yeah, I know. I'm really good at remembering number sequences. Don't ask me about pi though. Still watching game 1. Okay. Good series for Sharks fans. Got a little redemption for 2013 and 2014. Why is SJ Sharkey's head staring into your window? Huh? Not sure what you mean. Oh, what if? Oh, okay. I don't know. Sharkey and I would have to have a talk. I'd have to send out a messenger or something. I'd have to send out Cortana just to see what his intents were. Oh, you are a Sharks fan, Michael. Okay, right on. Well, we'll have at least the end. We'll have Tampa's first round pick, so there is some consolation there. Obviously, the Eric Carlson deal looks pretty crappy right now, but at least, we Mascot anime. At least we got that pick. I think we did a nice job at the trade deadline. Get to see the real identity of Sharkey. It was funny. I went to FanFest a couple of seasons ago, and I was first in line at one of the doors, and Sharkey. So like people start opening the doors. Sharkey opens my door and literally starts like pushing me out of the way. Something like that, or like started to open the door and then closed it shut so I couldn't get in. And then later on just like mauls me with a hug. It was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, Carlson's not worth the money right now, you know. Could that change later on? Somewhat. But a lot needs to happen, man. A lot needs to happen right. You know, the turnovers. That's what really, you know, bugs me. But you know, when Doug Wilson signs these long-term deals, he's gotten them right for the most part, but some of those guys are starting to show their age. So Sharkey is silly. Yes, he is. Burns is better than Carlson. Oh, man. I don't even know how to really dissect that one, honestly. Favorite mascot aside from Sharkey? I don't want to just cop out and say Gritty. I don't want to do that. I really don't have another favorite mascot necessarily. I mean, I could say Wild Wing. Wild Wing's cool. I could say Harvey the Hound because, I mean, he's the OG, right? I could say Sparky because he's a dragon. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Gritty's overrated. I wouldn't say overrated, but I think he's propped up to the point where other mascots are certainly, you know, left in the lurch a little bit. Anyway. Well, guys, I know that we're still discussing here, but I do have some work stuffs to kind of get back to. I was thinking that this would go until about this time, but that only leaves you wanting more. That's why you can come back next Wednesday for another stream. For those of you who haven't already, look into my social media accounts. You can follow me at Twisted Wrister Hockey on Instagram, along with this is my Twitter here. So yeah, you can follow me on those accounts. That way you can see updates that I'm making to my ECHL jersey concept series. As soon as that's done, which I'm thinking will be in about a week's time, maybe 10 days, I'm going to ask Neil. I'm going to be like, Neil, get on it, brother. And I'll probably put a little behind the scenes video together as to kind of why I decided to make the certain decisions I did for those jerseys. So yeah, that's a big piece of the channel right now. But I'll also be, John, I'm about to peace out, brother. It is great to see you in here nonetheless. Yeah, I know my time was a little different this time. I went earlier than usual, but we will have another stream next Wednesday. Look for the thumbnail on that. And I'm looking forward to our future conversations, my friends. So from Sharks territory, I'm wishing you all well. Stay safe out there. Say hi to your loved ones. Tell them that they mean a lot to you. Tell that to your friends. Hug your dogs. Savor the little things in life, even in these times, because that's what keeps us going forward. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you again soon.